Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Just
Come on, Gordon,
because
crank that thing.
I can. Yes, I am doing that. Thank you
Great.
very much.
Okay, let's get to the train yard before the Citadel blows.
Short, the Combine are completely cut off.
Finally,
Combine forces
fresh
currently
air.
stationed on Earth
Oh
are
my
now
God.
isolated units.
Striders
Stranded.
really tore the hell out
However,
of this place.
this is most likely a temporary state of affairs. As we once learned to our dismay, even the relatively tiny fracture at
I've
Black Mesa
never
gave
been
our
happier to
enemies
see
an
Dr.
opening
Kleiner.
which they were able to force ever wider as they poured through in greater and greater numbers. In addition to the completely xenotheric species, there are many modified post-human allies still remaining on Earth who will be doing their utmost to re-establish lines of communication and supply with the larger forces. Even so, there is greater reason for hope now than at any time in the past decade. We have made, in secret, several technological advances which we will do our best to deploy in advance of the Combine's return. We continue to diligently assemble and train a new generation of scientists and technicians. For what the Combine fear the most is not any tangible human weapon, but our will, our intellect, our ability to respond selectively and rationally to every terror they turn against us. We place our firmest hope in the human spirit, even knowing how easily it may be shattered. We have all seen friends and family crushed by the Combine. Some of our neighbors have allowed themselves to be co-opted and purged of their humanity by the military machine. And those who resisted have met a most terrible fate. Still, I cannot overstate how important it is that we retain our humanity. Only this will allow us to hold together, as we must, for their inevitable return, and what is certain to be unimaginable retaliation. And, oh yes, if you missed any part of this message, it will loop repeatedly until there is no point in looping it any longer. I apologize for any inadvertent errors or omissions. As you can imagine, we have had scarcely time to record, let alone rehearse. What's that, Eli? Oh,
Well, he was actually doing quite good
this has
with
been
public
Dr.
speaking.
Isaac Kleiner, formerly of Black
up
Mesa,
to this point.
now simply a citizen, like all of you of Earth. Let me just add to all those who can hear me now, as we struggle out of the shadow of our malefactors, welcome back to the light.
No,
Oh, where did I put that calculator?
I actually wanted to hear the part where he was talking about how the suppression
Careful,
field,
Lamar. These lamps are quite hot.
is down.
Is this on? Yes. Very well. I am not much of a public speaker, but I'll do my best. Fellow citizens, residents of City 17 and environs, by which I mean sentient residents, of course, human and otherwise, although I believe there is little need to explain recent developments to our Vortigo
Okay, I
allies.
take back what
At any rate,
the end of this speech was
first,
quite
as a
good,
matter
actually.
of great urgency,
But
if you find yourself still
stumbles
within
over
the
his
confines
words
of
a little,
City 17, you are well
which is part of his
advised to leave the city
characterization,
at
I
once
guess.
by the fastest means available to you. We have restored service to much of the commuter transport system in order to carry citizens out of the city as quickly as possible. We have also established camps and triage areas in the surrounding environs. I repeat, you must evacuate the city at once. While there was certainly a great benefit in destroying the Citadel's teleport core, we have detected one rather unfortunate side effect. It would appear an inevitability that very soon now the Citadel will be consumed in a destructive event whose magnitude I cannot currently estimate with any certainty, except to say that it will almost certainly irradiate an area of many miles radius. Therefore, I repeat, evacuate City 17 at once, if not sooner. I cannot state this without enough undue emphasis. On a lighter note, if you are already in one of our designated safe zones, I feel obliged to point out that a more fortunate side effect of the reactor's destruction is the complete removal of the Combine's reproductive
Looks like we're gonna have to
suppression
slug our
field.
way through here.
Previously,
The longer we take
certain
finding the
protein
train
chains
station, the more
important to
dangerous
the
it
process
gets.
of embryonic development were selectively prevented from forming. This is no longer the case. For those so inclined, now would be an excellent time for procreation. Which is to say, in layman's terms, you should give serious consideration to doing your part for the revival of the species. We must make the most of the time we have, as it is by no means certain how much time we have secured ourselves before the Combine attempt to restore their dominion, as they certainly shall. Since this is, in fact, the first opportunity we have had to speak openly of the baleful influence of the Combine, there is much ground to cover. And in fact, I hope to institute a series of useful bulletins in the days ahead. However, for now we will have to content ourselves with some relatively meager exposition. The destabilization of the City-17 reactor has had repercussions that were not entirely unexpected, although we hardly dared speak this hope ahead of time. The destructive pulse forced a damper on the entire network of linked Citadel reactors. Thus, for the time being, I believe that all Combine portals have failed completely, as well as all communications systems based on that technology. In short, the Combine are completely cut off. Combine forces currently stationed on Earth are now isolated units, stranded. However, this is most likely a temporary state of affairs.
Yeah, we've listened to this part already.
One
Let
thing we
me
tried to
proceed.
do when we're integrating storytelling into gameplay, something that's become a hallmark of ours, is to include non-linear bits of narrative, things that action-oriented players don't have to sit through, but that are available to players who want to learn more about the background. Kleiner's broadcasts on the public address monitors are a good example of this method. Apart from the strong visual image of Dr. Kleiner replacing his former boss on the giant screen, his speech conveys a lot of dense information about the state of the world and how things have changed due to the events of Half-Life 2. We settled on this particular location for the Kleiner cast as one of the few logical places where players can watch in peace or move on to the next encounter. It's essentially a footnote embedded in the world, which makes this footnote on a footnote.
For what the Combine fear the most
Okay, there was
is
another,
not
This
another.
City-17 Vista is an explicit visual reward for surviving the elevator battle. Since early playtesters told us that we weren't communicating just how damaged the city was, this sweeping view of an extremely messed up City-17 serves a practical purpose, as well as being a nice moment of calm between storms. The framing of your first view of the Citadel in this Vista space is very deliberate. We included various leading elements, such as wires and light poles, that all drive the player's eye to the Citadel.
Later in the level, there's a Combine gunner protected behind some metal plates, just like the ones blocking the player's way here. We placed them here as a training tool to remind players that the gravity gun can grab it.
Something. Probably us.
Probably. Well, that was unexpected. I didn't expect it to actually hit me.
On the rooftops. I was hoping we'd get a bit farther before they noticed us again.
Repelling soldiers presented a difficult training problem because we found it's tough to focus the player's attention upward. This entire alley was carefully designed to ensure that the player would see the descending soldiers. First, we framed the soldiers with a straight line of buildings. Then we had them run across the rooftops so they were starkly silhouetted against the sky before they dropped down in front of the lightly colored buildings. Finally, we added a distinctive sound for repelling action so that the players would recognize it.
We're gonna see if we can help anyone else get out. If there's anyone left in the city, we'll climb up the Combine. Now this!
character AI is all about putting on a good show. As we neared the end of production, we were still unhappy with the way that Alex handled herself in combat. The most common thing she did was run backwards while shooting at the enemy. It was fairly realistic, but it was kind of boring. So we added crouching and aiming at the last minute. And though it didn't really change her combat approach in a functional way, it made her a whole lot more fun to watch. And this is a really good example of how these relatively minor presentations and major changes can really make an impact on entertainment
I
value.
actually wanted to use this one.
The post-Half-Life 2 look in City 17 was difficult to nail down and initially many changes. We wanted to establish several things, primarily that this was a different part of the city that was slightly different atmosphere, and that it had been severely damaged. This street was a test bed for a lot of our video design.
If you knock them over,
First,
Gordon.
we built an intact city,
Oh,
then we beat up
this NPC will actually not follow me.
moving them
I
entirely
guess
so that more
Alex is
destruction was visible.
enough of a companion.
We did initial lighting passes in the game engine and then took screenshots of various locations. Using Photoshop, we manipulated those screenshots to establish a color scheme. Photoshop lets us quickly iterate through all kinds of skies, lighting styles, and color schemes.
That's the surprise shotgun
Environmental
guy.
photos that we ended up with were based on some photo references.
But he
of the
isn't
sun
nearly as
filtering through smoke,
dangerous
some falling
at
ash
a
effects, and a closer
longer
view of the
distance.
fog plane helped show the effect.
Though I guess I am a shotgun guy in some way. This will provide
Cover the
me.
street while you figure this out.
Okay, so provide me some ammo for the shotgun at least.
Strip mine traps are great, but they were sort of hard to justify given the total chaos of City 17. Even though we couldn't use strip mines alone, they made sense in this interrupted ambush.
Okay, there's probably some valve that I can close to. Okay, so I need to place something heavy. Maybe that will be enough. I guess we'll see. Not quite. I don't think I can move any of these. It's clearly not enough. Maybe I can grab something from the outside, like a big boulder or something. It seems so. Okay, let me just save, just in case I manage to kill myself in some unbelievably stupid way. To be honest, I'm not quite sure what else I can put on there. Maybe I need to time the jump correctly with the crouch, because actually crouch jumping I believe is longer than actual jumping. Not quite sure. I don't think I can. Yeah, I can't disable it using the gravity gun, which means I actually need to jump to here one way or another. I'm wondering if there's like a super obvious solution to this that I'm not seeing at the moment. actually is. Okay. The key positioning makes it a little complicated for me to do the crouch jump in addition to the sprinting. Is there anything else here? I can't move those. Damn it. Okay, I think it's supposed to be done this way, but I can't seem to. The character doesn't respond well when I order him to jump while sprinting. It's a little frustrating. It's like my keyboard is getting kind of blocked or something, because I'm pressing jump, but it's not actually jumping. Okay, finally. And now I can get back to Alex.
Nicely done. Let's head upstairs.
Yeah, I am a genius after all.
This explosion permanently seals the cafe door, which has a few benefits. From a design perspective, we found that when we limit the amount of backtracking players can do, it gives them confidence to move. And from a practical standpoint, we can clean up the amount of reachable enemies, giving them a reduction in overhead. It also helps to minimize potential bugs and explosions.
Bring that over here.
Okay. There's a sniper out there.
Gordon, hold up a second. We can't get through here while that sniper's covering the street.
Probably need to take him out somehow from this higher level, maybe? Or maybe I need to duck in between cover. That would make sense, actually.
Originally, the player didn't get any weapons until the end of this map, so roller mines were the only way to kill the soldiers. As we added more content to previous levels, it became impractical for players to be without a gun for safety. As a result, players get weapons much earlier now.
It's actually funny how the sniper shoots the trip mines. I mean, not the trip mines, but the roller mines. Okay, that was unfortunate. I didn't realize that even could happen, to be honest.
We're pinned down.
But I'm also pretty sure that actually took out the sniper at the end, throwing the mine inside. So I guess it's a potential way to solve this situation. Okay, I seem to have missed. Which is unfortunate. But yeah, this actually worked. Which is good to know. Okay, no access to here.
Nice toss, Gordon. That sniper almost took my head off. Let me climb up and take a look at what we're walking into.
probably climb through here and maybe drop the ladder because...
They've got the street fortified up ahead. You run point, okay? I'll cover you from up here till you reach the far end. When the coast is clear, I'll catch up. Okay, looks like I can get that ladder down to you. Let me shoot out the latch. I might be a little rusty with this rifle. Huh. Nope, guess I'm not.
Okay. Now, I'm not sure if it is this way, if it has been patched or something, but in the older versions, if you throw a grenade in there, apparently not, but I seem to remember that like Alex is basically a friendly version of the combine sniper. So if in one of the older versions I've seen on YouTube, if you threw a grenade at her place when supposedly she was handling the gun, a combine sniper would fall out, which was kind of funny.
One of the primary design goals of Episode 1 was to convey the sense that Alex and Claire are a team. This sniper sequence provides an opportunity for Alex to offer combat support in a cool new way. It also gives the player a chance to watch zombies get sniped up close and from various angles.
Okay, now I'm mostly watching myself getting clubbed, which is not great. Oh, I heard him before I saw him. Not sure which is the proper way. But I guess there can be only one, so one way to proceed, so it's not like I'm getting lost.
Players didn't have these weapons in the original version of this map. It made it a lot more important so that Alex could snipe the zombies. Once weapons were added though, the Skybridge became less of a puzzle and more of a straightforward combat event. We added more zombies to increase the challenge, but pulling the boards off is still the most fun way to get through this section.
Yeah, I won't lie, it's actually pretty satisfying to watch them getting blown out. Okay, I think that's all of them for now. Okay, I totally didn't see him. No problem. Okay. Where now? I guess they will open the gate again eventually. I probably should just let her take care of them instead of wasting health and ammo. Though I kind of regret. I wonder if it's like a timed event that I need to... I guess not. I was wondering if maybe they spawn it indefinitely and I needed to get in like during an interval of them coming. Okay, I guess she will open this force field. For some reason I find it really satisfying to kill the Antians sort of mid-jump. Okay, that was really not the greatest display of skill on my part. Can I close this maybe? That would help maybe.
Glad that's over. Oh god. Looks like the reactor's back on track for a meltdown. That transmission's going out after all. Oh! I'd like to find another way around these buildings, but we really don't have time. Okay, let's get in. Come on.
I'd really like some help. Oh. Speak of the devil. Okay, that was unfortunate. And for some reason I thought that would be an explosive. Basically a propane tank or something. But apparently not. Apparently it's just an ordinary junk.
Our AI is inherently unscripted, which means that we have to design spaces that permit our characters to make good choices. The AI is better able to make intelligent decisions when there are alternate routes through a combat space.
Oh, I
This hallway
totally...
started out as a straight-shot corridor with a door
There was a
at the end
blink
for
of an
future
advisor
entry.
in this
This
city.
design didn't provide the AI
I think we
with
just
enough
broke about
choices to
50
make the soldier
Combine
behavior very
regulations.
interesting. Adding an additional space on the side allowed them to find cover and flank the player, both of which dramatically improved the entertainment value of this encounter.
Get away from the doors!
Actually, I really like this weapon, so... As I mentioned in Half-Life 2, I never gave it much thought when I first played the game, but I came to enjoy it this time around.
The first prototype of Episode 1's door blast effect was here in the Combine garrison. Being peppered with chunks of wood by soldiers poured into the room through a haze of smoke proved to be an effective dramatic tool. It was also an excellent way to simultaneously ungate the player and flood the area with enemies. It was so unanimously successful that we ended up adding it in several places throughout the episode.
Not today, surprised. Shotgun guy. Okay, so this is the way forward. There's a lot of medkits laying around, which is almost like a bad sign.
We really felt that we needed a comeback. Great boss.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
To add some combat to because watching the guys fight each other set up a few other benefits as well.
It was
Previously only fought alone against the fire. This was the first time that actually they'd also seen
ah, right, I am immortal because of the... It's kind of a cheaty way to do this. I'm almost inclined to allow myself getting killed to atone for that. Okay, that's... I guess that works. In some capacity at least. around and let the antlions deal with the combine. I guess it didn't exactly work. I wanted it to. I don't remember if it was actually bleeding this way in the last game, but it's actually a good visual indicator of you, progressing through the fight. Okay, now I need to close the barrels. Oh, she can actually mount the turret here, which is cool, I guess. I totally didn't listen to what the guy was saying in the commentary because it was a little too hectic a scene for me for a moment, so let me listen to that again.
At this point in the action, we really felt that we needed a combat crescendo. Antlion guards make great boss challenges, and we decided to add some combine forces to the mix because watching AI characters fight each other is always entertaining. This setup had a few other benefits as well. Since players had previously only fought alone against the guards, this was the first time they'd actually witnessed secondhand the effects of a guard headbutt. They'd also see an APC in action, and in case there was any doubt, get definite proof that Combine soldiers and Antlion guards don't get along, underscoring the collapse of Combine dominance in City 17.
Yeah, it was quite an effective scene, I must admit. Pretty cool, at least. Okay, any medkits left?
Antlion guard arenas have a few specific design requirements. For instance, since the guard is only armed with a melee attack, we can't let the player reach any place that's inaccessible to the guard, such as rooftops and other high perches, that the player could only arrive at after being launched by a guard headbutt. The arenas also need plenty of physics objects for the guard to toss, and at least one unlimited ammo crate, so that the player can't run out of ammunition before killing the guard. For this battle, we also introduced a steady stream of regular antlions to limit the player's ability to constantly circle the antlion guard.
Yeah, I think it was a good addition. It actually made it a little more tense with the regular antlions running around. But I'm a little worried about my state of health. Thanks. That was actually appreciated.
In early versions of this area, there was no side passage off the street, and the gash in the road was created by the gunship that the player later fights in a hospital attic. As development progressed, however, gameplay, story, and performance requirements made this initial design unworkable. The new side passage provided a short break in the combat tension after the boss battle, and also helped us stay within our performance budget.
Okay. I'm always a little tense around all of those exploding barrels. They are just laying around like that. Ah, there's a vent here.
Your vent crawling skills seem to be in high demand today, Gordon.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, back so soon?
Haha, very funny. I was about to say how it was a dead end, but apparently it was more of a roundabout. Okay, that's little. Okay, I guess it's one of those areas which I maybe need to jump through there. So I'm not sure if... Yeah, I'm not sure if I can effectively destroy the trip mines without blowing myself up. So it kind of reminds me of this section in Half-Life 1, actually, with the warehouse.
After the Antlion Guard fight, playtesters were reporting some combat fatigue. We decided to include an environmental puzzle here to break up the We originally worried that a densely packed room full of hopper mines, trip mines, and explosive barrels was a little too implausible. But playtesters loved the sudden reveal of the room and then enjoyed navigating it, so this ended up being another case where we accepted a trade-off between fun and maintaining a strictly consistent fiction.
Okay, that's was a little bit of a cheat on my part. So let me, because I was in the commentary mode and that's why I didn't die, so let me load
In early versions of this
I actually didn't want to be here exactly, but if you insist. Save.
Your vent crawling skills seem to be in high demand today, Gordon. Oh, I'm back so soon?
Okay, I will not trigger that one comment note because I've already listened to it, and I will trigger the other one once I am out of the room. Yeah, I'm a little uncertain on how far I can. Okay, let me save. Probably unwise to jump on the barrels because they will move most likely. Okay. Didn't go well at all. Okay. Damn it, I wanted to actually listen to that, but... Wait, I need to somehow... Okay, that was pretty pointless as well. As was that. Okay, I'll listen to it now before...
At one point, this was the site of a physically simulated elevator puzzle. It was kind of neat, but it caused a lot of problems in playtests. Even though the puzzle mostly obeyed the laws of physics, it wasn't all in line with the way we had trained players to expect elevators to work in our world. We considered adding some earlier training to support it, but quickly abandoned this idea in favor of a redesign that was more immediately understandable.
I'm not sure why the ceiling vent didn't want to open at first. Also not sure why can't I simply swim out. Okay, I guess I'm not really sure where I need to go now. Ah, right, okay, this is actually a different level. I was there because there's the commentary note, and this is a different... I wonder if I can actually blow the barrels this time without dying, which is what I will test. Okay, I didn't want to... Didn't want to get grabbed. Okay, I guess it was possible to blow it up. It sounded like a poison pepper. They really like those dark spaces, don't they? Okay, I'm back here. There's a ladder going further up. Yeah, that was what I exactly didn't want to happen. Okay, this is the other side of the door. And here is the fuse box, power box, whatever you call it.
I thought you might have forgotten about me.
Okay, this is actually a good moment to end the episode, so let me save and see you in the next one.